Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Move. Okay.
Go over to So Crooked TV. If you tapping in and you want to listen to the full interview, if you want to call in, go to So Crooked TV on YouTube. Salute to everybody that's watching right now. Mic check.
That's okay. Cool.
Who I be? Truth. Like I said, man, tap into So Crooked TV. You can watch the full interview and call in. So Crooked TV on YouTube, man. Pop in. Let's go. Salute to everybody on the check-in on Instagram right now, tapping in. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button too, man. Get them people in the building, man. Send this, share this. Also go over to So Crooked TV. So Crooked TV. You can call in, leave your comments, all that. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We here, y'all. We here, man. We here. We back, man. So Crooked. One-on-one with Bundles. I got my man in the building. Before we get started, I want to make sure I give a big shout out to K Shark TV. Give a big shout out to Tony Stanz. The Sharks is in the building. They here. And he gonna talk his shit, man. Tony, what up?
What's good, my guy?
Ain't much, man.
Really appreciate this, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Before we get into what everybody want to hear, I want to get a background on Tony Stanz and what you're embracing hip hop started from and things. These are things I like to ask everybody before we get into the nitty gritty. Fresh out of where you from originally?
Spanish Harlem.
Spanish Harlem.
El Barrio.
El Barrio. What my man Jim Jones said, what about the East Side? El Barrio. Smoke while we G ride. Yeah.
Right. Just made up, comprised of a bunch of projects in close proximity. I'm from Carver Projects on the east side. If y'all know, 7 blocks, 13 buildings, a whole lot of units. Just a lot of love growing up. and hip hop is something that I grew up into. So from the street jams that were right behind, one of the buildings that were in Carver, we had like two places where a lot of the greatest DJs and MCs would come for park jams just to battle. Either they just wanted to get on, or and that's just kind of how I fell in love with hip hop, just from being like 7, 8 years old and just being able to stay outside with my older sisters and that. You know what I'm saying? And just watching hip hop evolve is it's crazy to me.
Now, I'm happy that you bring that up because I'm so in love with hip hop that I actually did my research and my homework on it and things like that. There's this big debate going on right now about who started hip hop, whether it was like did blacks do it by themselves or did they have help from the Puerto Ricans. And as far as I know, I'm from the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the birthplace of hip hop. And as far back as I can remember, it's always been the blacks and the Puerto Ricans together in
right.
unison.
Right. So the east side was that, right? So the east side and the west side of Harlem is like night and day. And to this day, but when I was growing up, it definitely was a lot different. So we call it Spanish Harlem for a reason, right? A lot of Latin, people came and migrated there. Puerto Rican dominant, Dominican dominant, Mexican now. But yeah, I mean, from the start of it, I would say honestly, Puerto Ricans definitely had a huge part in hip hop, especially with the part of dancing and breakdancing, electric boogie.
B-boys and the
oh my
breakdancing
God, man!
and all
But some of the best electric boogie was from the east side of Harlem, man. Shout out to my man Fable, one of the best to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, a lot of stuff we think started in Harlem and the Bronx. So I say that the Bronx is the baby mother of hip hop.
Okay.
And Harlem, because we are playing it, is the baby father. I feel like we helped give birth to it because you was in between the 212. It wasn't no 718 when I was a kid. It was one area code for both boroughs. That's how old I am, right? Funny. But when it was one area code.
I was about to go there. I'm like, I remember I got 718. I got 718 tatted right.
212. Somebody will tell you that's over 40. You know what I mean? It was 212. And it probably was a baby, but yeah, it was 212. And it was a lot more unity. You know what I'm saying? And I think once it split up, the Bronx definitely, I felt like, they took, when Beat Street and all the movies started to come out, the Bronx really took off. Like Harlem, we was there with the harmony. I feel like Harlem was always the harmony to hip hop. And the Bronx had the lyricists and we had the harmony.
All right, I'm gonna give you my perspective on this. I felt like I was born in the 80s, mid 80s to be exact. I ain't gonna give you the exact year. But I knew that Harlem was the place that everybody went to display.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when the weekend come,
right.
you go and show out, you go to Harlem. You know what I'm saying? You go to Willie Burgers,
right,
you know what I'm saying? Things like that. And hip hop was heavy in that time. You had what's my man name? Dougie Fresh and them doing their thing up in Harlem.
Right. It was a show. It was entertainment. Right. When we really started the whole dancing around hip hop, I feel like we really just to this day, kids come up with dances, but a lot of the epicenter of that is Harlem, right? So the Harlem Shake alone is just something that probably would have started 20 years ago if you just would have named dances like that. But we were always, I think, right there with the Bronx in terms of helping to cultivate it. And still to this day, man, all 5 boroughs are definitely have a lot of play, but Puerto Ricans, blacks, grew up in it together. Right?
That's a fact.
Definitely
That's
did.
That's a fact. Now, I want to touch into your love for basketball. Like I've been following your gram, and I see that you're very active in basketball, especially in Harlem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do the two coexist with each other, hip hop and basketball?
Yeah. Books, beats, and basketball. Like I'm an educator in my regular life. That's why I call myself Super. So I call myself Superman because literally, Superman would go in the phone booth and change, right? So if I wear a suit inside of work or I dress down, after 6, I'm turning into Tony Stanz because I gotta go save the people. The people are the youth. I've been doing it for a long time. Basketball is what saved me because I didn't want to go to class. Like I went to Manhattan Center, which was a known basketball school.
A lot of people come out of Manhattan Center.
Right.
Cam went to Manhattan Center.
Mace.
Did Dame Dash go to Manhattan Center?
Dame Dash, my guy. That's my guy. Like, so we from that. I'm from that. I don't really brag about that because again, we be at the lunch table snapping on each other. If Dame see me right now, he'd be like, "Tone box." I used to do the beatbox, right? I used to do the beatbox because that's how I could measure up in hip hop. And then the MC I was doing the beatbox for was so crazy that it was like I wanted to start rapping. But no, basketball is something I played at Manhattan Center. I happened to play on a team that lost to Stevenson to go to the chip that year. I wasn't eligible the other years, and I wasn't good enough. We had one of the deepest teams in the city. But basketball is how I got to college, man. I wouldn't have went to college if it wasn't for basketball. So I started coaching after I graduated, and I started an organization called the Shooting Stars, which was made up of some of the best kids that nobody knew, that would get cut from the other teams or dropped out of school. I had to help them get their GED and then put them in college. Some of these kids now have degrees with wives and kids, and they own scoring records across the country. Like that's a big part of how I really was able to infuse the hip hop. I would be working 2 jobs, coaching, running the program, and then going to rap at night, right? Going on tour on the weekends. I might have to go to Philly. I might go to Virginia. Might go to West Virginia. But I got to be back to work by that Monday. So
you was a weekend warrior when it came to the rap scheme at one point.
I feel like that's the reason why I'm not a household name. But to people who know and they've been in the underground, I am. And I think 2017 I came out with Working Man. I finally was able to be honest about my story and say, yo, bro, there's nothing wrong with having a job.
Nothing wrong at all.
Right, because the average, even everybody gonna tell you they don't work. That's a badge of honor to be a bum. Bro, if you're not bringing in money, listen to me good.
So,
if you're not bringing in money right now, you're a bum. We don't want to hear about nothing else, man, because as a grown man, you have to provide. So I've always provided for myself. I provide for my career. And again, this starts early. Man. It starts early with the work ethic. So that Working Man album, it really just made me realize I can get out of the game now because I created a lane that I'm comfortable in, and hopefully other young dudes will follow me. Right? Because there's a lot of y'all rapping that have a job, bro. Let's stop acting like working is something wrong with that. Now, if you want to stop working and become a boss, that's one thing I love about Dame Dash. Like he's gonna drill that into your head.
Nah, it's a fact. Dame is definitely gonna. I personally feel like a lot of me I see in Dame. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm super arrogant.
Oh God, he's been that way. Tell him I said so. That's my pro. He's been that way.
I'm definitely on his wave, and there's certain things that I just won't allow myself to be a part of or to do as a man.
Right.
We live in an era right now where I'm gonna say the goofiness, the degrading yourself gets you notoriety.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta be half naked, or you gotta say the most ignorant thing on the internet to go viral and things like that.
It's a fact.
Where certain people that may not have that type of energy in them, or just might carry themselves with a certain level of integrity, they tend to suffer as far as being lit. Let me make sure I say that.
The word again.
Yeah, right. Because let's be clear. And I'm gonna say this, and it might hurt some people's feelings, but at this point, I'm talking with Tony Stanz, I don't give a fuck. A lot of these cats that say they lit ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. A lot of these guys that are lit on the gram is living with their moms or living with their girl, or you know what I'm saying, got to ask somebody to cash out them $10 so they could get a meal and things like that. To each his own. I hope that y'all understand and grow up and move past that, because everybody go through their hardships.
Right.
But to me, it just seems like you said, like it's cool to be a bum.
Right. No, I take a lot of abuse for being willing to say that I'm not a killer gangster thug, right? We all shoot. Everybody know a shooter. I'm from the hood, right? Mm-hmm. Shooters come a dime a dozen. Unfortunately, some of them is my best friend's nephews or little brothers even, right? We're not gonna promote that. Battle rap is battle rap, but I just think that's where we're at right now. Like,
I think the hood need everything, because remember back in the day, the kid that was smart, that was going to class and bringing home straight in certain hoods, that kid would get a pass from the OGs. Like, yo, he ain't about that. Let him do what he do.
I played ball. I got that pass because I grew up in the middle of the crack era, like the height of it. Okay. Like when it's really like formulating, and like I'm on my way, out of high school, and thank God a coach gave me an opportunity to come upstate and play in Syracuse, right? Mm-hmm. One of my middle school partners, Carlton Hines, one of the greatest to ever pick up a basketball. I went to middle school with this man, and then we entered Manhattan Center together. And, unfortunately, his life took a turn. He was getting more money than I had ever imagined a person could make. And this is a friend of mine. And, when I left, it was just like when I came back, people that was right here next to me was out of there. Like they were zombies. And nothing has changed. Like I was in my hood yesterday, and the remnants of my hood you can still see 30 years ago.
Absolutely.
And I'm saying it's leaking
Absolutely.
into our culture because now it's just a new wave. It's a new wave, and I think we got a responsibility, man. We have a responsibility as diplomats in hip hop to kind of show both sides of it, which is why I put out that Working Man album. And while battle rap to me is like it's a working man sport, man. This is work, right? Like the preparation for battle
Somebody
rap,
still got to cut you a check. You
bro.
still got to answer to somebody.
But the preparation from battle rap, any battle rapper can give me some fire signs right now. Some of y'all prepare more than others, but I know my preparation, I kind of shut down. It kind of affects other parts of my life. So when you working as much as I work, and then you got to prepare, you got to find spaces to do that. And I think that again, it's a sport that is on up and coming because people are realizing you can get a lot off your chest. You can get a lot off your chest in 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when we started the interview, I picked this up and I thought about it. I'm like, why am I here? For more reasons than one, I'm here because of this. Right? This is mighty, y'all. This is super mighty, and I've been using it for work, for my sport, which is this, for a long time. And you know, I think it separates us, man. Because those who don't want to curse at you might be able to use this in a way you wish they would have cursed you out. And I learned that the hard way. I've moved people's whole life with that pen. I've changed people's life for negative and positive just by writing.
Yo, listen, that whole notion that the pen is mightier than the sword is a definite eye opener because there's some battle rappers, like for instance, there's certain battles that you could go back and look where a person is like describing a whole person's life, and then immediately after the battle they change their life.
Right.
Oh, you was staying on your mom's couch, or
right.
you ain't had a car, and this.
That's the angle for the next 10 battles.
Right.
That means that your pen worked.
Now that battler is striving to, like, you know, I gotta go get a car. And they found out I got a car. They found out I live with my mom. I gotta go move into my own crib. So I gotta go through.
That might be motivation.
Exactly. So I definitely understand where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
I wanna touch more on the basketball before we get down to the nitty gritty. I seen on your Instagram that you're going back to hosting the summer league tournament.
I was supposed to. You know, I'm probably gonna still do some Kingdom Day. Shout out to my man Honcho. Shout out to Kev out at Kingdom. I initially thought I was going out there as a commentator, and they actually wanted me to host. And you know, I'm not sure I'm ready to do that just yet because you have to combine your style with somebody else. Okay. So my young boy Rel, who's killing New York City, keep rocking, bro. Hopefully I'll get out there at some point this summer. But that would have been a commitment. So Honcho asked me, but I don't think that everybody was on the same page of what my actual role would be. I grew up after I graduated college, came home from playing ball. I started coaching, and then after I stopped coaching, I started commentating because that's fun, right? So I've given a lot of street ball players their nicknames, right?
Okay.
That kind of came up in street ball over the last 10, 15 years. If you came through Harlem and you played in the Showboat, that was the name of our tournament. Big shout out to my man Big Boo and Kev Stu, you know, the co-founders of the tournament. But we kept thousands of kids off the street and put a lot of kids in school. At the end of this, what I did was create a pipeline to a lot of junior colleges and prep schools around the country to place these kids in, right? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times they was either, you know, the gang was on them, or they was trying to get out the gang, or they just didn't want to do school, or a combination of all three. So we created a pipeline. I sent a lot of kids to school to play ball. So that's really what I'm most proud of. After my career was over, the best thing I could do is give back, because a lot of these kids who are the nicest don't want to do the school thing, right? Yeah. The nicest kid on the team failed everything.
Do the school thing.
Right.
But see, that's the oxymoron in it, because like you could be dead nice, but here's the thing about basketball from what I learned, because I played basketball in high school too. Mm-hmm. This is the realest thing my coach told me. Mm-hmm. He said they don't really care if you learn anything. No. They want to understand if you have the discipline to actually go, sit in the classroom, do what you got to do for the sacrifice of the team. You feel in the class, you're messing up your own life. Right. That's your life. You do what you want. Right. But they want to see if you have enough wherewithal to be like, you know what, it's bigger than me. Right. It's for my parents. It's for if you really tapped in with your team like that. Like mm-hmm. I had a player on my team that he had one class that he had to pass to play. We used to stay after the practice to help him study for the exam, mm-hmm. for him to pass so he could make it to the game. Because we had like an important game. I think we was playing Taft High School. Right. And we needed him. He was our big man. Wow. And we all stayed for like 2 weeks after practice. Practice would end like around, I want to say 7. We wouldn't leave out the gym till about 8:30 because we was helping him with his work so he can pass that class.
That's commitment.
You know what I'm saying?
That's commitment. One thing about that is I was teaching kids how to run an offense, right? And how to break presses, right? And we do that in the street ball tournament. I'm telling them, run motion, run 1-4 low, and they friends who are not down are on the side laughing. Yeah, you running plays. Those kids that go to college, they got 2 steps ahead of everybody else who just think that you roll the basketball out when you get to college, and the coach is not. So when those kids come home in January, they never understood the fact that basketball is bigger than just playing in the street, right? So you got to be able to do both. I think of the same thing as hip hop. Trying to teach the structure around something is crazy, and that's why I stopped coaching, because the loyalty, first of all, is gone.
You think it's a lack in father figures?
Absolutely, yo, bro. That's a renowned point. The father figures are the coaches. I can't tell you how many mothers I got close to, and I don't mean in that way, bro. I mean, they didn't have a man in their life, and they listening to their son come home and talk about me coaching, right? And the impact I'm having on them. So you got to have a relationship with that family. But yeah, it's obvious, and I come from that type of household. I used to have my son, who's 28 now, in the gym with me when I was coaching, right? That was my visitation. My visitation was weekend, so I had to take him. You come into the gym. Now, he run across the court, shake 3. Yeah, he mad, right? After a while, he starts to get to know my players. Now, my players are grown men, and they see my son. They be like, that's Jabari? I'm like, yeah, that's my son. They remember. They great dads. That's one thing. If you're a shooting star, East Side, I love you, because I know that some of this rubbed off. And somebody had to let it rub off on me, because I had a very, very tough, upbringing, and then trying to be a father and raise children. All that comes into play with, I think, a part of the aggression and what we're talking about, right? And even not striving and thinking that a woman's going to take care of you. A lot of young men come from single female households. I'm one of them. I lost my mom early. Dad wasn't in my life. So I'm learning this shit as I go. And some of the best OGs I know didn't teach me the wrong thing. Once they saw I was nice, they was like, you're going to school to play. Right? I knew I was, but they wasn't going to let me stay on the block and sell crack. That wasn't an option, because everybody was selling crack. My whole projects, it was 3 sides to my projects, and everybody was getting money. Different.
Now, I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm coaching my son's basketball team right now. Shout out to King's Kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually going to see y'all on Wednesday. We got some deals to run.
Nice.
But
burpees.
Yes, all that good stuff. I know that my style of coaching, I do a little bit of yelling, but I do more of instructing. I'm going to give you a story. You know what I'm saying? I hope none of the parents get mad, but we talked about it already. I had missed a game, and this was like the first game I ever missed. I had to work, and we had another coach there or whatever. And the kids was kind of acting a little bit unruly. And, we're in Connecticut. Connecticut, when it comes to like structured basketball and things like that, you only got selected hoods in Connecticut, and then everything else is predominantly Caucasian-ness and everything like that. So we play a lot of kids that are Caucasian, whatever. So the kids is in there, they're doing a little bit too much. So the next practice, I didn't even let them touch the ball. Yo, coach, what we doing?
Best practice.
We're not touching the ball. We're here to talk about who y'all are as young boys. I don't like to use the word young men, because cops like to use that as an analogy to lock our young youth up. So I try my best not to use the word young man. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you like 9, 10 years old.
Never thought about it like that, right? They towing that line of legality for going up with the big boys and staying in the juvie. I never thought of that. I never thought of it like that.
If you in between the age of 16 and I want to say 16 to 22, if you pay attention to the news, they'll always say young boy when it comes to a white man.
Right.
The moment you 15, 16,
right.
young African American man or young man or young male and things like that, they automatically take the innocence away from you. So that's why, for me, I'm very careful with the vocabulary.
Right. Never thought of it like that. So thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
That's profound. For
no
real.
Problem,
Never
man.
thought of it like that.
And I explained to them, like, listen, unfortunately, in society, they already have a perception of you. So for you to pretty much tap into whatever it is they thought about you, you letting them kind of win.
Right.
Not even kind of win. You letting them win because they're going to go home with that information and be like, yeah, these little, man.
Right. Just like I thought.
Just that and the third.
Right.
So, for me, when it comes to my kids, I want to teach them how to be young, respectable boys before they even touch the basketball. We gonna get to the basketball,
right.
But I want to teach you how to be young, respectable men because for me, I grew up in Castle Hill.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody that know the Castle Hill salute. I grew up in a building, school, man, a tenement building, and my father went to jail when I was 3. Came home, I think, when I was 11, 10 or 11, one or the other. And immediately when he came home, all the little knick-knack things that I was doing got smoothed out.
Right.
And not so much of him just saying, do as I say and not as I do. He talked to me and he explained to me like, yo, you see them dudes over there?
Right.
Yeah, they're going to be in jail in 10 years.
Yeah.
I have a picture of me and all my homeboys. Matter of fact, I'm going to post it later today when I take this clip. Everybody either is dead, went to jail,
right.
or is recovering from coming home from jail. Me, by the grace of God, I was always a working guy. They'll tell you all day, like, I'm not really with the guns and all that stuff.
Right.
I'm a fighter.
Right.
I'll shoot the hands with anybody. Like,
Right.
that's how my pops taught me. My pops taught me, like, if you got a disagreement, try to talk it out first.
Right.
But if you can't talk it out, don't be, quote unquote, a pussy and go grab a gun.
Yeah.
Like,
he saved you a bid. Your pop saved you a bid. He saved you a lot more, but he definitely saved you a bid, most likely. Because of look how big you are, right? That's the first thing you might have to do because somebody already knows that you could overpower them. But, you know, to be your size and be who you are and show restraint is tough within itself.
but you know what's so
especially
crazy?
being a black man, because they're expecting you to be angry. So when you're angry, they don't expect me. I'm angry. I'm not going to lie. Look at me. I'm angry, bro. Right? So no one expects me to be angry, but I back that anger up because it comes from a place. Sometimes it's displaced, and that's what I think we as black men have to control. Because we can displace our anger real easy, right? We could set it off on the wrong person in a heartbeat, right? And that's what I think even some of the color barriers revolve around. I see people around certain people, they like this, but then they'll talk to me crazy. And I just think that that's a part of what I try to teach our kids as well.
And I think now we're going to touch into that because you brought up the size pause. I don't even think we even need to say pause. We having a grown man conversation.
Right.
I'm
Super
just,
grown man.
For the youngins, that was for y'all. But even with the battle rap stuff, you know, now we're going to touch in with the K-Shark things and things like that. Like, even with me with battle rap, I know that I talk aggressively. You know what I'm saying? I get it from my dad because I watched how my father interacted with his friends and how they talked as men and said it with their chest and was unapologetic and whatever they was. They still respected each other.
Right.
But every now and then it would get chippy, but they had that understanding that men are talking to men. It's not really a personal attack and things like that. And for me, being in this battle rap world, I'm not going to say everybody, but there's been a lot of situations where I've had conversation and people, like, for instance, I got the nickname of Suge Knight. I hate that. I hate that term. I tell everybody, don't call me that.
Right.
I hate that. Suge is in jail for 1,000 years. I definitely don't want to be on his type of time and things like that. And I was talking with my artist, Young L, and he was like, yo, Bundles, like, you got to kind of embrace that, bro, because, you know, you don't talk like everybody else. And I'm like, what do you mean I don't talk like everybody else? He was like, yo, bro, like, you know, you be on that dad. Like, he called it dad shit. And I'm like, it's not dad shit. It's just, you know, I was raised by a certain caliber of men.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's, like you said, a lot of guys out here are being raised in a single mother household and may not necessarily have a father figure. I'm never going to just say a father figure, because my father didn't do it on his own. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my Uncle Stan. Shout out to my man Busy B. These are men that even my father passed away when I was 20 years old. So he died from cancer. Right. Those guys in my neighborhood picked up the torch because they knew how my father was working with me.
Yeah. Community parenting.
Exactly.
That's what it was. That's how we had to grow up.
Shout out to my man C-Nick too. C-Nick is another one. That's a guy in my neighborhood. He was a little bit older than me, not so much, but he was a G. And when he seen me doing something goofy, they wouldn't like snatch me by the neck and like that. Yo, Bundles, you know you're not supposed to be doing that, bro.
Right.
Yo, Bundles, you know just yo, man, let them do what they do and da. So for me, I think all those men I just mentioned, because like you said, they kept me out of prison, they kept me out of situations where I could have lost my life. Right.
You
know what I'm saying? And things like
retaliation, right? respect and retaliation. Those two things, I feel like I've known so many people lost their life behind both, right? And it's a facade. Respect is a facade.
That's
I could tell you I respect you now and walk right out of here and talk about you crazy, right? So respect is day to day, minute to minute, right? It's real time. Respect is not yesterday, because every day I wake up, I have to make sure there's certain people that I give respect to, even if I don't talk to them, right? I respect their honor. I honor what they stand for. So to talk about people, I've tried. The older I get, the more I realize that that's where some of my relationships are starting to falter. Because I wonder if you're talking about all these people, what you're saying about me.
Exactly.
And I come from that, right? I was raised in a household full of women, man. You know, there's no disrespect, but women talk, right? So I've always tried to separate myself from that. And the older you get, the more you realize that, like, the idle mind is a devil's playground. The more free time you have, the more this type of stuff come up. For the last week, preparing for this battle, I turned off a few people. My IG, I ain't really been on a little bit, been promoting this, been promoting yesterday's tournament. But not seeing certain people, my week was great. I feel better. Cleanse my body out, my mind out a little bit, and yeah, man.
Energy drainers.
I feel like I didn't understand what the energy drainer was, because I feel like I've drained certain people's energy and not on purpose. So when it's being done to you, I react. I'm very responsive.
Elaborate on that.
I mean, I'm talking about more so family, right? You can realize that sometimes your emotions can weigh on other people, even if they're true emotions, right? Sometimes people set up their emotions, but with me, you get what you get, right? If it's something funny, I'm going to laugh. If it's something that hurts me, I'm going to cry. If it's something that makes me mad, I'm going to snap. Some people ain't in tune with their emotions and when to do when. And I'm learning that. So I think that's a big part of what we're seeing with some of our relationships. Battle rap just brings that out, because the more times you put me in front of somebody, man, I'm really talking to somebody else. I'm talking to that person and any other person within that, which is why a lot of the times this is cleansing for me. I get mad when I can't do it, because a lot of stuff is bottled up. If I could say the things to my boss or something at work that I say to battle rappers, I'll have a great day.
Yo, can you imagine?
Right? Imagine if you could write bars for the people that you really don't like, right? I don't know some of these battle rappers.
Yo.
And that's the creative part. It's like, me and Mike Burner, I love Mike Burner.
He said, fuck you, boss, I'm coming in late. You better get out my face before I fuck around and spray you.
Right. You have 7,000 bars. I would keep rapping. I have certain bars, guns, everything. But we can't. So a part of the creativity and getting that and cleansing yourself is to be able to do it against an opponent. And I think, again, that's why we sitting here right now. This, for me, has really become something that I look forward to. The more I do it, the easier my other relationships are. So even win or lose, it's the competition. And again, that's life, right? You're not going to always win. I'm starting to take my losses better than I used to. And I'm not trying to lose. I never go out trying to lose. But being hard on myself motivates me, in other ways, right? So just making sure I'm my worst critic. You ain't got to tell me I lost. I know I lost. Even if you think I won, if I don't finish my round, I lost. My last battle, I'm going to give it to homeboy because he finished his round. Didn't matter if he said ABC 1, 2, 3. He finished his round. And, I think, again, we're here because my affiliation with K-Shark, and that's what I'm trying to do. I want to get out of this game, and I want to be a part of the bin side. So I think today is a good day to start talking about that direction, because I don't see myself continuing on this path without operationalizing it as a business.
Right.
And making it feel that way. So again, I appreciate the opportunity to come here, because this K-Shark is something that I'm really passionate about, bro.
Now, all right, so I want to get into the whole K-Shark thing. K-Shark has been around for a very long time. In preparing for this interview, I was doing my homework on K-Shark's beginning and yours as well. You know what I'm saying? To me, let me just say this. I love my boy K-Shark. You know what I'm saying? I got genuine love for K-Shark. And in the midst of me having genuine love for K-Shark, when I see certain things, I may voice it to him and be like, yo, K-Shark, you're not doing this. You need to be doing this.
Right.
Yo, what the fuck?
Right.
But it's coming from a place of love. Even sometimes we may not talk for a couple of days, but then when he calls me and he'll explain his case, and I'll be like, yo, all right, K, I hear you. I apologize. It wasn't like that. It's like this. I always got love for you.
Right.
So with me and him, we have gotten that rapport where it's like, yo, Bundles is saying that to me because he's passionate about it. Like, I love this on-beat battle rap shit. Like, I make that very clear.
I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is something that I got tapped into. Shout out to my man Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt brought me to my first on-beat battle rap event at Cypher City TV. Salute to Cypher City. Cypher City didn't even know me.
Right.
I had a clothing line. I presented it to my man Mass and Boss Man. They gave me a shot. You know what I'm saying? They let me sell my merch in there, do a couple of things in this and the third. I just fell in love with the culture, and I also fell in love with the camaraderie. Before all this bullshit was going on, they had camaraderie. Like, the artists spoke to each other. The artists interacted with each other.
I didn't know you came in like that, pause. I didn't know that was your pathway into this shit, right? And that is humility in that. Because, not to say you came in as a volunteer, but you came in without wanting to try to take something over and just said, let me fit in first. You had a merch, you had a product, so you're giving something away as well. You can make some money.
Oh, bro.
But
I went to the first two events I went to, and this is how my brain worked. The first two events I went to, I'm like, yo, they don't know nothing about my brand. Most of the stuff I came in there with to sell, not saying no boast stuff or no money situation, I gave most of it away. Right. Throwing it in the crowd and things like that. So now they looking like, yo, who's this? So Crooked, what's this? That? And then, you know, salute to my man Finale, the OC. You know, me and Finale got cool, and I asked him to represent my brand in his battles. I forgot who he battled, but his first battle that he wore So Crooked, he had a black and red hoodie on. And that was just something that I asked him to do. He didn't charge me. He said, yo, Bun, you have to give me a couple dollars and nothing like that. And he wore it for me. And right after that, like, two other artists was asking me about the brand and things of that and that. And I was just getting my feet wet as far as the battle rap stuff. So I ain't gonna front. I gave a lot of free stuff away. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, salute to my man Maury Hayes. I gave Maury Hayes a coat. And this goes back to what you're saying about humility. I gave Maury Hayes a coat for his birthday. This was when he was repping RIU. And I made him a customary coat where it was like a RIU So Crooked collaboration jacket. Made that for him. People was giving me grief for giving him the coat. Oh, you on this nuts?
That's crazy.
And I'm like, yo, bro, you don't understand that this is a level of branding.
Right.
Maury Hayes is the top guy at Cypher City TV, right?
Shout out Maury Hayes, man. Get better soon, bro.
To me, it was a no-brainer because, one, I was starting to get cool with him, and two, he's the top guy.
Right.
So if I got the top guy wearing my merch,
right,
no-brainer.
Right.
And these are things that I was not voicing, but I had in my head, and I understand what I was doing and moving and structuring. And now, fast forward, you know, we getting ready to do an event with the same company that gave me my start in this on-beat thing. It was to Cypher City. Make sure y'all pull up August 19th.
August 19th.
Pool party, man. Team Mavs versus Team Bundles, August 19th, Poughkeepsie, New York. You know what I'm saying? We're going to try to get K-Shark in there to put a cipher on, you know what I'm saying? We'll try to put that in the air. But these are things that was going on where people was telling me I was crazy, I was giving away too much stuff, and things like that. But to me, it was an investment. Because now when you think of on-beat battle rap, you cannot not mention So Crooked.
Well, some of that was you wasn't giving them the merch for free. You was giving it to somebody else, right? That may not have been So Crooked or whatever the case is. But
at the time, I was giving it to everybody. Like, if you came to us, and Mass to tell you, the first event, when I gave away shorts. I had shorts. I was just throwing shorts in the crowd. Mass to tell you, people came to the next event asking if So Crooked was going to be there.
Yeah, probably wore the shorts. They got at the last event.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now it's like, yeah, granted, y'all probably asking because y'all think y'all going to get something free out the deal, but I'm cool with that because I'm marketing.
But listen, let's seize on the they, right? The cheerleaders from behind that would say, yo, you ride, you know you D-riding, whatever, pause. Like, let's seize on that. Because I think that's, again, is a part of what I'm doing sitting here, just trying to figure out how to move this in the right direction. And it's so many distractions around they. And they being exactly what it sounds like, right? That noise from the outside, man, once it gets inside, it starts to infiltrate everything.
You can't let it. Like, even like with me, it's like, everything that I heard from, Bundles is trying to steal artists, and Bundles is trying to do this, and Bundles is trying. I didn't let any of that stuff deter me, man, because I understood what I was doing was honest. I understood what I was doing was not just benefiting me, because at the end of the day, I tell my team all the time, no bragging, because nobody has ever heard me say this in public before, but I'm good financially. Like, I'm good.
Right. I think that's something you show more than you tell, right? One thing that stuck with me is last week or so, you did a live. There was a lot going on, and I know we're about to get into everything, but you pulled out, like, your books, you know what I mean, to just legitimize your business and your business ventures. And I thought that was powerful, right? Because if it was somebody that don't know what the hell is going on, the one thing that they can see is that's how it looks, right? If you're thinking about doing that. And I think that's not bragging. That's really, like, sometimes you got to clear the air to make sure people understand where Ground Zero really is, right?
Preach,
you knocked me down right there. When I saw that, I was like, okay, right? Because it didn't, everything else mattered less when you legitimize this right here and then everything else, right?
Absolutely,
Because people just think this shit just happens. I told people in that one of them lives, I run a $2 million business every day. And I say I run a business because a student is a client.
Right.
We get grant money, and you have to spend that money in the way the government tells you to spend it, or whoever gives you the money.
Absolutely.
You write for it, they give you money. Here go that pen again, right? This can get me money. I know how to write to get money. I know how to write to take money away. But I think you doing that, it's again, here's why I'm here. How do we operationalize this? When we looking at RBE and URL, the fact they could even be fighting means they operationalized it. They can have that fight. They can actually pull out lawyers and go to court. I'm not defending you first because you don't got no money, but you don't got no EIN. So I'm a corporate lawyer, right? I can't defend you. You're not a legitimate business.
You don't even got an EIN. That says you can't preach that boss talk if you ain't got at least an EIN, man. EIN is what, $30 now? $30, $40, $50, something like that?
Probably could get it for less.
You know what I'm saying?
If you really look hard. But this is my point. Every day I'm asking for somebody's EIN and give me a W-9 because I might have to create a PO. Right? So I'm paying people, and then we get money coming back.
Let's slow it down because, some people that's watching this may not understand those terminologies. That I know what you talk about, but there's some people in the comments that may not understand them terminologies.
So a purchase order, right? That's basically you giving it to me on the sleeve, right? This is battle rap. Because I've been doing battles on the sleeve for a while. But this right here, this is worth money if I do the right thing. Because you're giving me that opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
You're spending money to even produce this show.
Absolutely.
People might not understand that.
They take it for granted.
Right. Well, then it's an investment on your return, or ROI. It's a return on your investment. So Shark investing in me means I don't really need money because I make enough money to sustain myself. And that's not bragging. I make more than enough money to sustain myself. But if I just took...
I see you pulled up nice.
Bro, if I just take the pittance of $200 or $150, and I'm saying it's a pittance because really that's a bill for me. That might be my cell phone bill, my cable bill. That's cool. I do it. I've rapped for less. I've commentated basketball games, gave me $100 a game. I do 3 games. $300 of cash, I'm never going to say no to, right? But at the end of the day, if I'm draining something that really can't do it, it's like being in the NBA and you got to take a pay cut if you want to get another free agent.
That's what Mike did.
What?
That's what Mike did.
What the best players will do if you really want to win and you already worth $1 zillion, bro. Taking $10 million off the top is not going to kill you because you're going to get it back in endorsements the next week.
So why do you feel that artists nowadays? Because I explain this to artists all the time, like even like with me in my league. All right, you asking me for $500. I'm not going to sit here and tell you shouldn't ask that number, right? Because at the end of the day, everybody got their number. Right. But what I will ask you to do is explain to me how I'm supposed to get a return on that $500. Right. And if it makes sense, then maybe we could talk about it. What I mean by that is that, all right, you asking me for $500. How many people can you bring in the building? How many views do you average? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Are you going to promo?
Right.
Are you going to do all these things? Are you going to try to help push ticket sales and things like that? Mm-hmm. Me just giving you $500 and you showing up by yourself rapping for 2 minutes and going home is not making me any money.
Right.
And I think that's what a lot of artists don't seem to understand is that know your worth, yes, but also be able to monetize and display why that worth is what it is based on what you feel your number is.
What are views equating to, right? Because for people that really understand, like, I'm a recording artist. I like to write songs. I have 5 albums out. I'm going to release 2 more in the next 3 months. What are views doing? Right?
Views are not doing nothing.
Views are not really getting you money. You have to translate that through some other type of engine where people are going to have to be able to download something, buy it in some type of form or fashion. Your views have to turn into something. So if we only looked at views, then how much could you pay somebody? Because a URL rapper is already getting paid if they're on a contract.
But
views
are a short percentage. What I mean by views are a short percentage, meaning like, let's take an artist like, I'm going to use one of my guys, like Young L. One of our marketing strategies when we're asking for money is that when you go on YouTube and you have like a certain amount of followers and things like that, it does generate money. It's not a large amount, but it does generate something.
You're talking about in terms of monetizing YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, I'm going to be kind of giving away the source a little bit when it comes to Young L and everything. Is like, we know for a fact he averaged anywhere between 30 to 35,000 views anytime he's on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So now, when we come to the table with different entities and different platforms, and we like, listen, all right, he may be asking for like 400. You get out 400. Guess what you getting with that 400? You getting 35,000 views. Right. He's bringing a mob with him because everywhere he go, we go. So you're gonna get about 10 of us in the building every time somebody from So Crook is on the bill. That's another way a lot of my artists market their money as well, because you know that the gang is gonna come too. Right. You know what I'm saying? And depending on the situation, you might get, you know what I'm saying, one of maybe the lower tier guys from So Crooked to be on the card as well. These are all attributes that we bring to the table when you're talking business.
Right. And that's what I'm striving for in talking with Ralphie and Kaiser about. When I keep using this term operationalize, because I could not be where I am without operationalizing every position I've been in as a director or assistant director, executive director, whatever director you want to call me. That's all I think that we lacking in certain areas. Because if 2 people have a vision and one is going this way and one going that way, the middleman brings that vision together. At some point, it has to merge. Like that fork in the road means that people who done went to the right, they done went to the left. Guess who keep going straight? Right? This is my point. I don't care how people feel about me. When I attach myself to something that I'm passionate about already, it's not going to take much for me to explain. Like, even if you don't want to let me do it, here, let me provide you with the blueprint. Because otherwise, I don't see sustenance in lack of organization with anybody, right? And you can speak to this, Mass can speak to this, and Kaiser definitely can, because I feel like people disrupt the organization, right? When it's close to getting popping, that's when everything start happening. And this is in front of everything that I think is major.
You could go back to the there's so many different displays of what you just said, where it's like when you're reaching that peak and then somebody feel like they want the limelight all for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, unfortunately, you know, Jay did it to Dame. You've had people like the Joe Button podcast guys, and they went up and did their own thing. And same thing with the Math Hopper guys. They went up. And shoot, even people from mine, you know what I'm saying? I had a whole crew of dudes that I had to like get rid of and then restart back up because everybody felt like they just wanted it for themselves. And one thing I've learned in my living is that you want 100% of nothing or 20% of everything. Yeah. so which one is it? Yeah. Like if you want 100% of nothing, go ahead about your business. Right. Because even like for me, shout out to my guys Poser Free out there in Philly. Like that's where that whole terminology, the mafia, came from. When you think about the mob, they had other little families and different people that made the engine run. You might have had a lawyer that was a family member, right. Or you got the person down the street that owns the bakery, and you could go in there and get some bread. All of these things is what made up the mafia and made it last as long as it did. So now you might come to me and be like, all right, Bundles is going to be the orchestrator. Bundles got the money. He's going to do this, that, there. And then I might have Young L know all the artists. They mess with him and this, and that, there. Right. Or we might need a venue in Philly. All right, we got to call our Poser Free homies and have them down there looking for a venue for us and things like that. It's never just solely on Bundles or solely on L or solely on Bug. we come together as a unit with a common goal and understand that everybody's their own man, yes, but we all in this together to create a common goal. And I think that's what lacks with a lot of people in this industry, because everybody just wants to be the man and not really working together. Because let's be clear, everybody that wants to be the man in battle rap, when you try to do the solo route,
it never works out.
It never really works out.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna go on record and apologize, because a big part of becoming a man is being accountable and being able to say you're wrong, right? So I had my own notion about you. I had a different relationship with Mass. I'm just talking about league owners, right? Mm-hmm. Because we talking specifically on beat battle rap, y'all.
Absolutely.
Ain't nothing better than what we doing, right? So I'm calling it the triangle offense. Maybe you add another one in this, the quadruple, but at least between Cypher City, So Crooked, K-Sharp, we all have our notions about what a league owner is like. We see you at events, and that's it, right? If you're trying to stay loyal, you're going to battle just with yours, right, on your side. If y'all want to come over here and battle us, but I don't take battles in other leagues unless I check with Kaiser, right? It could be somebody that won't come over there, and I got to battle them over there. But I'm apologizing for really not getting the chance to know some of y'all outside of this, because the competitive part of a lot of us doesn't allow us to want to get to know y'all. I don't like being friendly with dudes that's going to talk about, you know me, doing something to my girl and my mom's and everything, bro. Like, it's just something about that.
I get it.
After we battle, and most dudes who battle me will tell you, my best battles is like, I don't really want to engage you until after we finish. Okay. Because getting too friendly, I saw how that went out in Atlanta, bro. And I was the most unfriendly dude there, because I didn't come out there for that. I didn't stay in a house. I stayed in a hotel 7 miles away. I spent wild money on Ubers. I was mad already because I was spending money. You know what I'm saying? So I came in there with
that was a part of your process, not staying at the house?
I don't be around nobody. My process is I just don't like to be around nobody in battle rap. Like, sometimes I hang out in the tank before, but I don't do well in them battles because I'm dropping my guard.
Okay.
So I feel like stay in your mode until that 3 minutes is up, or 3:30, because the best of us, they have that type of plateau they can get to. Some people can stand around, smoke, drink, laugh, slap each other on the back, and then get in there and go animal. I just think it's different for me.
Nah, I feel that. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. Now, I want to ask you, what makes you proud to be a shark when it comes to K-Shark TV?
Oh man, that's a good question. I think I'm proud that I've been getting shot at a lot, y'all. If y'all know me, man, I can go back to all the names, but I'm still standing. I'm proud because he's allowed me, if I can make it, to battle every month, right? And that's tough. That's tough, right? If he lets me, I battle every 2 weeks, but I'm proud of the fact that, again, in spite of who's not here, that I stayed on, because it's easy to quit. And I think a lot of us as black men could tell you, you've quit something in your life, but you always respect the things you've completed way more than you can respect the things that you walked away from. Mm-hmm. That could be women, that could be any type of relationship, that could be a job, but when you complete something, it gives you a different purpose. And I wouldn't back out of this deal until I felt like at least it was structured in a way where I could say I had some type of impact on his future. I think that's where I'm at in my life right now. Like, why people be like, yo, why are you doing this? Why are you still doing this? Right? But those are haters, I feel like.
I've been rapping for a long time. From Verbal Warzone, he said Tony Stanz is one of them ones for me at the tank.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. I know I met you through DJ Ralphie. But yeah, I'm proud of stuff like that, because really in the tank, before everything got crazy, like when I battled my man East Coast, it was my first battle. Shout out to East Coast, man. Free that guy. Hopefully he be home soon. Mm-hmm. But from the minute that we finished battling, he walked up to me and we struck up what I'm going to say is a friendship. Good dude, man. Good dude. And he reminded me a lot of myself, because the hunger is there. The passion is there. The bars is there. But I realized that a lot of those battles happened. Everybody was cool. Smoke, drink, talk shit, snap, you know. And I'm thinking, all right, so you don't really hate each other? You're just going to hate each other for 3 minutes. And then at some point, you know, when people started moving up in directions, I think that it just started to get crazy.
I think it's composure. Yeah. What I mean by composure is like you just said, you may not, it's not a personal thing, but you're giving yourself the ammunition to be like, I gotta rip this person's head off, so I'm not gonna be buddy with him.
Right.
But then you got some people that don't know how to differentiate that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to turn it off when it's over with.
Right.
It turns into a real issue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I'm trying to separate that because we talked about just anger. Yeah. Like the angry black man syndrome is something that's real. It just gets attached to us because of complexion, whether you dark or light. But we have a lot to be upset about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just on a daily basis, and it's just how you act that out. So again, I try to use battle rap as that outlet and that release, because anything else could put you in jail, man. You could talk the way you want to talk. I just think when it crosses the line outside of it, because one thing I'm not big on is all these lives, bro. I feel like going live every 5-10 minutes, like after you run out of stuff to talk about, you start reaching, and then some disrespect is coming, you know?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think this was the most I've been on live. this week alone was the most I've been on live.
Think
ever.
about it. And when I saw you that day, so for those who don't know, maybe I think a day before you went live, that real live, all of them is real, but you know the one I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I had put up just on the spur, man. I got up and it's just on my heart, man. So I know my man's going through a lot. Shout out my man K Shark. So I just said, yo, I'm gonna give him his flowers. I do that from time to time. If y'all check my page, I give people flowers you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, let me give him his flowers. Let me tell him that I rock with him. I don't care who don't.
Right.
Absolutely. And it's one of them things. Again, I know how to write, so I'm not writing toward anybody. I'm writing for him. If there's anybody I want to read this in a way, it's him. And I swear to God, man, after I put that up, and I'm not saying this was as a result, but things went crazy. And
all right, let's tap into that, because I know K Shark had put up a live, and this is not the main reason, because I wanted to interview you anyway, but I knew that you guys wanted to speak your piece and everything.
Burner, what up?
K Shark had put up a post, and I feel like him being a league owner. Granted, you're going to defend yourself as a man.
Right.
I'm not going to take that away from him. I feel like, that was a little bit beneath him, a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, not for all artists, but some artists, if you're not booking them, they not getting booked. You know
that's how I think you would handle it. And this is some of our private conversations, so I'll keep them private. But that's a big part of it, me included. Because here's the thing, I'm not asking for money. I'm not mad if you're not giving me money. I want certain battles, and what I realize is that maybe I got to pay for the battles that I want. How about that? How about investing in my own career? So then if I get smoked, who can I blame?
So,
Me.
and also, artists have to, and this is for artists, all the artists that's listening, don't just depend on the league owner to pay you. At the end of the day, let's just say, like for me, I'll tell my guys, like, yo, if they may not be paying, ask them what the incentives are. Can you put merch in the building?
Right.
How many personal tickets can you get for yourself that you can make a couple dollars so you don't feel like you're working for free? Now, that fills the building up. You know what I'm saying? People are going to want to come out more for this said platform and things like that. It ain't always just about the self-gratification of you lining up your pockets.
Right.
What are you doing for your career? Because at the end of the day, yes, this might be the thing you do on the side because you're not using this to pay your bills and everything, maybe one or two, but it's still your career. This is your voice. You have to sit down and write this.
Right.
You have to sit down and make sure that your cadence will line up with the beat. You have to make sure that your attributes in the battle. You wouldn't want to take the time to really invest in that and get the maximum capability that you can out of yourself instead of just asking for a little funky $100, $200.
Hey, I said funky, little funky. Whenever you hear little and funky in succession, you know what we doing over here. And I mean that, right? Because for somebody that's paying a bill, like I said, I could pay a bill with that, but why drain somebody's pockets? Because with some league owners, and even dudes I grew up with, sometimes you gotta do it out your pocket. It's the equivalent when we came up in music of doing it out the trunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
I sold wow CDs out the trunk. I sold way more CDs out of a trunk, and not necessarily a trunk all the time, but getting out in the streets and selling my CD was easier than some people could find streaming their music at this point, because you out there talking to the people. Battle rap is an in-your-face. Battle rap is an in-your-face sport. When you're on a live and you basically talking to somebody the way you would talk to them in the battle. You got to remember, ain't no beat playing. So now I'm taking this as a grown man, and I think I've never seen somebody take as much abuse as K Sharp and Ralphie. I'm just being honest, for people who not putting no money in their pocket. Right? My mom's told me that early. My grams told me that early. Like, he putting in money in your pocket? He taking something out? That's the question.
I'm gonna tell you the same
right?
thing.
Or somebody not contributing, but they just it's just money coming out and there's nothing coming back in. Then how does that work? Because that's the golden rule of business, right? And I feel like if there's no bottom line, then we doing this shit for nothing.
I think it's a situation where it's a kindness for weakness, and it ain't just him because I had to go through that.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna say it right here. You know what I'm saying? Like there was I stepped out of my element one time in this battle rap thing, and when I had the conversation afterwards, I vowed never to do it again. Me and Maury Hayes, and if y'all haven't seen the one-on-one with Maury Hayes, make sure y'all check it out, part 1 and part 2.
Dope.
We talked about it, and it was like me and Maury had a little riff. Not nothing crazy. It was more so over battle rap because me and Maury had a relationship before me and L, and in the midst of him and L going through what they was going through.
Right.
Me and Maury's relationship had a little bit of a strain on it. And there was, like K Sharp, oh, Bundles is too nice. Bundles is this, Bundles is that. And I had to go on live like, yo, bro, I'm stepping out of my element. That's why when I spoke to K Sharp, I understand where you're coming from because I went through that.
Right.
Me telling people like, yo, you really feel that way, pull up here. I slept shit.
Right.
Stepping out my element.
Yeah.
And then when I had the conversations with said individuals and they're like, yo, Bundles, like, it wasn't that, it was battle rap and this, and I was like, damn, I felt like an asshole. I'm like, I literally turned into the shit that I be talking about when it come to people.
Right.
And I had to really look in the mirror and check myself. So when I seen Kaiser going through that, I told Kaiser, like, yo, bro, number one, me and you having an argument, which was private, by the way. It was in a private chat.
Mm-hmm.
I never once thought that you were soft. I'm not gonna say, and to be honest with you, that's not even crossing my mind whether you soft or not. We doing business here.
Right.
Do you think your boss is a gangster?
No, he's not.
Do you think the person that owns Macy's is a gangster?
Nah, man. I don't think.
I don't think a lot. The motherfucker that owns Microsoft, you think he's a gangster?
Right. I don't think a lot of us think that we gangsters. You can be gangster all you want in battle rap. You don't have to live your life as the battle rapper you claim to be. Come on, bro. Turn it off. Right? Because here's the thing. They've taken so much abuse that I think they numb to it, and when you start blocking and just like not responding as them, then it's bad because there are not a lot of options. You hear me?
And
like
when
they're coming over there to you, you're gonna go over there to Mass because this is my point. If we don't work together, everybody out on the remnants just stays out there because word spread, man. Word spread.
The illest shit. There's a thin line between hustler and gangster. People get it confused. Gangsters, 9 times out of 10, most gangsters is broke.
That's a fact.
If you're a hustler,
this not about that though, Bundles. This is about people feeling like they could basically create a better business model, which everybody has a right to, right? This is it's a free society, bro. Like it's a democracy. You can at any given time you can quit your job, right? One thing that you don't have the right to do when you quit your job is call that job every day and try to get every other employee to be like, yo, you a dummy for still working there. Bro, don't you got some money to make over where you at? So one thing that any real shark, and all my real sharks understand me. I was arguing in the chat yesterday, and I'm going to say sorry to Mo Murder because you might have took what I was saying personal. But I'm being honest. If somebody don't stand up for what's right, this is what happens. You're going to get ran over, bro. I've never, bully to bully. That's my point. Because this was a race to the top of something where there was really no prize at the top. So the creation of a belt or something to kind of have a pecking order. Now, you and I spoke on live along with Mass. That's probably one of the best conversations I ever had around just battle rap in the situation. And I asked you both, yo, name your top rapper in your league. And we don't have to mention who y'all said because it's on live. My point was, in Shark, we can't really do that. So this is this whole idea of a tournament and the idea of how do you ensure you number one, beat everybody that's under you. So we came out with the seedings, the rankings. I had this idea when we came back from Atlanta. Then you guys had came up with the tournament. So again, some people not privy to everything else that was at play. I've been with the
Well,
Sharks.
we
for,
here to talk about it,
yeah,
bro.
I've been with
Let's
the
talk
Sharks
about
for
it.
almost 2 years now. I came from Showtime Battle League, bro.
Shout out to Showtime.
Nobody brought me over to the Sharks. I literally was watching this shit during the pandemic, and they was battling dudes from the UK. And one of the UK dudes, yo, his accent was crazy. And I remember, yeah, I was like depressed, and I watched this battle, and I laughed. Yo, I laughed for like an hour, and I was like, nah, bro. Whatever you do, find your way back into this, right? And Chalk was trying to get me on before, but I wasn't going to do that to Showtime. I'm like, I'm not. I try to stay on board, but I left Showtime. I came over here. I haven't really regretted it. The only thing I regret is that trying to stick up for administration makes you look like teacher's pet. But I battle. That's the thing about it. I don't want to keep battling.
But why should it have you looking like teacher's
Because
pet if
because
it's honest?
here's my thing. When your gun can't really aim at nobody else, you turn it on the person that you should least shoot, right? And that's what's happening. Like, there's nobody else to shoot. So everybody done took shots at me, and me defending other people that now are not there anymore. So when you say what am I proud of, I'm proud of integrity, and the people that are still around have shown the most, because that's one thing I can say about So Crooked, right? And again, I don't have a relationship with a lot of So Crooked members, but I know y'all, I watch y'all, I respect what y'all do. I respect Cypher City. Niggas is nice. Let's not act like that. So when I get mad when people will act like they don't know that some Sharks get busy, because they're not going to give us that credit. So when we have our talks inside, I'm like, yo, we looking crazy right now. I should do that because I'm the captain of the team, bro. I'm the point guard, bro. I am the point guard. I've always been the point guard. When the ball come off the backboard, I'm running to get it. I don't let you pass it to nobody. I knock you down to take the ball from you. I'm running this play, bro. And I don't know how to sit back if I don't see that happening. I can't come off the bench if there's no point guard. Who coming off the bench for Marcus Smart, bro? You understand me? He took him there.
So now,
but you can't win with him. You couldn't win with Brock. I'm just saying. You need a natural point guard. If you want to win, you need a natural point guard. And that's what I am, bro. I don't have to take a shot. So if I don't battle no more, I want to see the Sharks get to this rightful place, because I know it's too many entities at work that's going to try to shut that down. If you had that in your camp, you probably would have got rid of it by now.
Oh, I did.
Okay. But then
I did. If you've been following So Crooked for a long time, you could. Everybody that used to be over here,
right?
I say outside of Finale, who recently just came back, and Young L, who never left. Go back in the history books and look at So Crooked then, and look at So Crooked now.
Yeah, man.
I had to make some harsh decisions, just like with K-Suck, there was a lot of talk. If you do your homework, you can actually watch a couple of battles and watch everything unfold, because some people became chatty patties and things like that, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? I ain't tripping on that.
Right.
But for K-Shark TV, I personally feel like S-Drop is one of them ones.
He's the one.
Jep has always been one of my favorite artists.
Right.
Not just battle rap. I made sure I use the word artist.
Right. Jep makes songs. He makes really dope records, which I love about him. That's what I'm talking to the Sharks about. This is the closest thing you're gonna get to being a recording artist. So a few of these battles that Jay-Z watched, because we understand some of these dudes are really strung out on battle rap.
Mm-hmm.
It's not more than 3 to 4 real on-beat battle rap leagues. So you're a part of something that's special. This means that you should be able to go in the booth, chop your bars down, 16, hook it out, and possibly come up with a hit. And
I tell people all the time when it comes to this battle rap stuff, and I got a couple of my boys that was telling me I was bugging, but I stand by what I stand by. I personally feel like it's harder to rap on beat than acapella.
Absolutely. I will tell you right now, I believe we would smoke a lot of acapella greats come over here on beat and get smoked. Now, we've seen it happen a few times, but this ain't easy. This ain't easy because you can't. Every time I mess up and ask for a restart, I feel like I lost. Y'all don't know how many dudes ask for 10 restarts. You should have lost, bro. Because you can't do that in an acapella battle. Imagine somebody choking 7 times.
Say it again.
Start the beat. Start it over. Start it over. Start it over. You lost, bro. If my op gets through his rounds clean, it's like gymnastics. If you stick the landing, you're going to get a 10. You can't wobble. That's, to me, makes it harder than anything else. Because you could prepare for 1,000,000 hours, bro. And in that one moment, you skip a word, you miss a word, you stumble.
That's all it takes.
You forget the whole thing. And it's happened to me, and that's why I think I love it so much, because it humbles me. Every time I think I might be the best at it and get humble, you go back to the drawing board. So, that leads us to where we were at yesterday. We were supposed to have this tournament. We're going to now push it back to July. The second round will now be the first round. But I was disappointed yesterday, man, and I went in the chat to my Sharks and I got mad. So again, I apologize to Mo Murder, my man Black Man 1030. It wasn't just y'all, you know what I mean? That was coming from other places, bro. But a lot of prep goes into this, and every time we don't have an event, somebody else could, and somebody else is. And when you sleeping, like, remember what Nas said, sleeping is a cousin of death, man. I didn't understand it until the older I get, the more I realize time is not really on our side, bro. Because somebody can come out with a model tomorrow and blow you out the water. We don't think it could happen, but it could.
What do you think about the level of respect? Because I hear what you're saying, and I can only lay testament to, like, Cypher City TV. I want to say Sayonara, Maury Hayes, what's my man, Breeze. These are people that 100% are loyal, to Cypher City. Now, mind you, those 2 out of those 3 artists I just mentioned battled on my platform.
Yeah. I battled Side first. He was my first battle on Cypher City.
See, glad you said that. So now, the reason why I use those 3 artists is because, yes, they are loyal to Cypher City.
Right.
But they also understand the business aspect where they can branch out and go to other platforms and perform. Right. But their allegiance is to Cypher City. What do you feel? Because from what we just going to talk about it. We recently had the issue with with the Burgundy C7 guys and things like that. Now, for me, I'm going to start this conversation off by saying I was kind of confused and I kind of felt bad because I know the history between Kaiser and the Goon.
Right.
I've seen it. I've been around it, and I understand where it started from.
Right.
So to see them going through what they're going through, and let's be clear, I'm not a fly on the wall. I'm not in the rooms. I'm not in the chats. I could only go by what I see that's being displayed out in the world.
Right.
I feel like it should have never been like that.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like at the end of the day, if you thought Kaiser, for the most part, even down when they was doing like those interviews going out in the streets, you saw Kaiser, you saw Goon. If you saw Goon, you saw Kaiser. So now, and even with the
I'm gonna stop you, just because it's not Kaiser and Goon.
Okay.
It was actually Goon and Ralphie.
Okay.
And Kaiser, much like myself, gonna be in the middle of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can't let no infighting happen, because infighting from the inside is going to demolish the whole thing. It's going to cave from the inside, which is where we're at right now. So I think that, again, it's 2 men. Even with Ralphie and Goon, Ralphie's a businessman. Ralphie works hard, man. Ralphie, the DJ and his side money. Ralphie's just like most of us, right? So Ralphie's another one.
Ralphie's
a boss at his job, right? Ralphie's a boss at his job. DJing is an individual sport. I don't need your help, bro. You know what I'm saying? So when you have men who are used to, Goon runs a business. You know what I'm saying? I run a business. Shark gets his money. It's like sometimes the room not big enough for everybody to be the chief, and I think that's where it is. Like, it was a difference in opinions, and Goon made a decision that he was going to step out of the league, right? I don't think Goon was happy about the whole tournament and the competition. He has a right to be. I feel when I came in, I attached to Goon because me and Goon had already battled in Showtime, and it took him 2.5 years to put out our battle, which was a point of contention for me with Showtime. But I came in, and I'm just like, I saw what Goon was doing, and I appreciated it. I came in, and we kind of hit it off immediately, right? But what I realized is that when you come into something, you observe, bro. You don't just jump into the fray and get crazy and act like you've been there a million years. And I think right after I came in, I had 1 or 2 battles. People started to see that me and him was developing a bond, and then a lot of the divisive stuff started. And I think that Kaiser and Ralph were trying to manage the divisiveness around a race to the top, or Goon being at the top, and every month somebody wanted to battle him for that spot. So let's just be honest. Goon was holding down the tank, and once certain people came in, it was like, well, The only way you can stay there is if you battle me. And then after you battle me, you got to battle me. And then you got to battle him. And it's like, nah, bro.
So
you got to wait your turn.
Obligations.
Nobody comes in and gets the top. Can I come to So Crooked and get Young L on the 19th?
Nah.
Even if he wasn't battling, would I be able to do that? Right? The more you laugh, the more that shit kind of hurt my feelings.
No.
I'm being funny.
The reason why I say that is because, number one, let's be clear. L's my guy.
Right.
Even I have issues with getting him.
I know, but I was going to say, what you ain't let me finish is that he's not going to take that battle. Right. I don't gotta ask you. He's gonna be like, I ain't battling him because in his mind, which he should feel that way, he's had enough kills to be like, you gotta earn your way to get smoked. And I don't feel I would get smoked. I'm gonna put myself on record. Those things don't fear me. What I know is that I will wait my turn.
The process is different.
But you gotta wait your turn, bro. When the opportunity presents itself, because if we was only doing it for money, I would have paid him already.
Okay.
Right? I could give any of these dudes their price, but my thing is, why would I step up there knowing that I'm only doing it to try to push myself up the ladder and I didn't earn it? You need a few kills. Do you think a boxer goes to fight Floyd his first fight and get his head knocked off?
You know what?
Floyd don't got no power. Well, when he punched you in your face, when Floyd punched you in your face, the same dude that's like, he don't got no punching power, you're going to be like, damn, this dude hit hard. Because you ain't never been hit by him.
It's funny you say that.
That's what I don't like about battle rap.
Because
it won't give certain dudes a chance, but they will fuck around and knock your face off.
I had to learn that because when me and Young L was rocking, the top of the billboard at that in particular time was Maury Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We really wanted Maury Hayes. We was doing lives, doing posts. We really wanted to get the battle with Maury Hayes. And like I said, if you go back and you watch the one-on-one with me and him, that's what made him annoyed with me.
Right.
I'm the mouthpiece. I'm the loudest one on So Crooked. I talk the more. I place bets. I talk my mess. I come in the building. Yo, we here, man. Mafia.
Sam Sosa and Pyro battle. Watch that battle and then watch this dude. Yeah, that shit classic. That's one of the classics.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's always how I've been. And Maury in that interview enlightened me on something. He was like, "Yo, bro, it's not that I didn't like Young L, is that I had to go through the ringer to be who I was, so for him to come in and think that he was just going to get me because he felt he was nice, now he had to go through the ringer."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I respected when he said that because now me being a seasoned member of this thing we call On Beat Battle Rap, I understand that now. At the beginning, it was just like, all right, he the top, yo, we going for him.
Now, this is what happens in K-Sharp, right? When people might get smoked in another league and then come over here and think, yeah, I can make up for getting smoked. Bro, first you got to deal with getting smoked. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm saying, I know I take this serious because when I lose, it bothers me. I ain't never lose a basketball game and ran off the court laughing. Bro, If I see you in the locker room laughing, we got a problem.
Definitely.
We just got smacked. So if that may be your life, that you could get back to losing, but I don't like to associate with losing.
How serious is this to you?
I think
you sitting over here laughing. How serious
I think
is this
for me, it's trying to get some of the young dudes to understand that it's sustenance in this type of shit because you don't have a lot of competition. Now, once other leagues start popping up, because that's what the play is. Oh, I could do this better. What Jay said, you know what I mean? Make another Hove. You said something earlier that, and you feel the way probably 5% who are willing to admit, you said Jay did it to Dame. Most people would say, Dame is an arrogant asshole. He deserved that. And if you from where we from, he broke a super code. Jay broke a super code, but cool. This what we talking about. Me and Goon was close as
I think Jay, I'm going to let you get on that Goon part. I think Jay represents what the times are that we're in right now. And I think that Dame represents the old school. What I mean by that is that good, bad, or ugly. Let's be clear. Me and Young L have arguments all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Right.
Yo, L, yo, this, that. I've never once publicly went and bashed him.
Right.
A lot of people don't know, shout out to the ones that do know. There was a 2-week time period at the beginning of all this that me and Young L had stopped talking to each other to the point where he was about to leave So Crooked.
Yeah. Thank God he didn't, right? Cooler heads prevail.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, he know I got love for him, and I know he got love for me. And it was just a hot-headed moment at this, at that. And mind you, me saying this right now, anybody that knows me and him is like, when did this happen? Because it wasn't public knowledge.
Right.
We
But
handle our
again,
situation on our own.
this is what lives are doing, right? So inside of our chat, when I went in there, I went in the chat knowing who's in there. So I know I'm talking to pretty much everybody. So Mo Murder was like, nah, fuck that. You talk, and he should have said that because it looked like I'm just indicting him. And what I'm saying is, bro, every time these things don't come into fruition, that all this preparation going for it, we take a step back. And it's hard, man, when you moving for it. So OG Burnham is on the call. He's still on the call. So I'm gonna say this to Burnham. I did my diss track. I put Burner in it, right? And I said this. I said that when we got invited to Atlanta, that created division within itself because from what we was told, specifically me, I was told in a real nasty way that if it wasn't for certain people, we wouldn't even be in Atlanta because people only wanted to battle this person. And then it became, okay, the pecking order is going to begin when we get out there.
Mm-hmm.
If niggas are lying if they going to say, and even Burner would have to agree, I think everybody benefited from that event. First of all, he had that shit set up great, right? Beautiful spot. We had a great event. We could talk about who won the battles, but that shit was major for on-beat battle rap. To get up.
The fact that a whole league went to another state.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah,
exactly.
That was
I didn't even know Mo Murder wasn't from Atlanta until I finished battling him. And a part of me was mad, but then a part of me was happy. I'm like, damn, niggas in Ohio is going to see me. That's how I'm thinking. Win or lose, I got promotion. It was A&R in the building. Burner got the dude who did the recap, who's pretty famous.
Yeah,
he was in the building. Those things get seen. So let me be honest. I watch my followers go up organically. I don't pay and buy followers. These dudes got 10,000 followers and 600 bot comments. And think I'm stupid?
Man.
Yo, you've been doing it for 100. I have, bro.
Man.
But I'm doing it organically, which is the way I'm trying to build this league. So yeah, I had issues with Burner because I wanted Burner to come back down here and return the favor. That battle didn't happen against Goon. And then it seems like that was the beginning of a really long road to get to the point where we down to a few sharks swimming in the tank and then, you know, some sharks outside of the tank trying to get in the tank. And, you know, maybe this is the time for restructuring, but Goon and I had a very, very close partnership, friendship. We did a song together, shot a video, was supposed to put it out. And I think once he realized that this isn't what he wanted to do, I told him that I was going to stick in the building, right? Hadn't heard from him since, and then all this stuff happened. Again, I knew that there were issues. Ralphie is probably the most neutral guy who people want to hate for some reason. Maybe they hate the fact that he don't yell and scream back, right? Because if you tell me SMD, bro, it's gonna go different. I don't care what people think. That's just not where we from. Ralphie not from there either. I was with some dudes yesterday who grew up under Ralphie in the Lower East Side, and they even friends of mine, like my man grandmother from down there. So he would go down there. And he was telling me the story, and I was like, funny. I was like, I'm gonna come on tomorrow to remind people that when you don't give those type of people their props, they don't get mad. Me, I'm upset. Like, no, he's not mad. He got mad at me yesterday. Me and him had words because I'm chastising people for saying we look crazy. And I'm here talking to you, and I'm realizing we only look crazy if I'm saying we look crazy, because in my mind we do, because I want to be competitive with every other league.
Right.
That's why I'm sitting here, because I think what we did when we came from Atlanta is we showed that any other league can do it. And then when we started talking about putting all three leagues together for a tournament, a lot of egos came about. The draft happened. My ego was involved, right? Everybody wanted to be the best. I've been in 3 drafts in my life. 2 of them was basketball, and that one was and I went first pick, second pick, and almost dead last pick in rap. And that shit hurt. But you know what? If I would have battled Homeboy, I was ready, because that's something that I'm thinking that motivates other people.
People got to motivate that, because, like, even with the tournament, and I bring this up all the time because this is something that I'm proud of. When I picked Mason, bro, my phone, yo, Bundle, what the fuck you pick him for? Yo,
look, Mason is a problem, bro.
Mason's a problem. But see, for me, it's like, of course, I was gonna try to get one of my guys first. Couldn't do that, you know. They snatched L immediately.
Right.
That was like, I think either the second or the first, one or the other. But they got him up out of there quick. I think my first pick was Pyro. I ain't gonna go down the whole list. But when I got to Mason, everybody was shocked that I picked him, and I'm like, yo, he's gonna amaze y'all.
It was just me and him. So he was last. I was next to Mason, and it's crazy because we battled after that. My whole thing is that draft really it was about ego because. You know, there were some people picking who are not down no more. We don't even see them around this type.
And I fucked up because K Shark said it that he wanted all his sharks. So for people putting that notion out that none of us wanted to pick sharks and all that, that's false because K Shark made it very clear that every time his pick came up, he picked a shark.
Well, I think battle rap league owners have a right to have a favorite. They just not supposed to say it, right? So we was in Atlanta after the battle. And we on the porch, and everybody getting nice. And your man Fire the Misfit, who I think is one of the best to do it, right? He's one of the best in this sport. He's like, yo, who's the best in K-Shark? And for the K-Sharks that's there, some are inside the house, some are outside. We waiting to see what the owners say. And I'm not going to repeat what their picks were, but at the end of the day...
I don't think the owner should say it. I don't think
that was asked under alcohol, right? And again, this is a part of even being friendly with the ops because after the battles are over now, and this is Fire. He didn't battle; his man did, right? Him and
Trapman,
Trapman and Boom, they battled, and you know they was debating all night on who beat who, but they sat next to each other. I swear on everything I love for at least 4 or 5 hours, and they chopped it up. I had to leave because I was tired. It was like 3, 4 in the morning when I left, and we sat up most of the night and talked. And that's when I realized, like, if this shit could work, right? But everybody has their opinions. So Fire sitting there knowing, like, just smirking, like, knowing that, and it come down to what he do, that he's considered one of the best. That's what I'm saying. Our league has been left for us to try to figure it out. This tournament was supposed to be the way to do that. So it not happening yesterday.
But also the degrading, too, is like, everybody could argue about who's the best. And let's be clear, being the best is opinionated.
It's only for a matter of time before you're going to have to defend the belt anyway.
But my thing is the disrespectfulness that came along with it.
Right.
I've never seen a level of blatant disrespect. Battle disrespect and blatant disrespect is two totally different things.
It was always there then. A drunk heart speaks a sober mind. Mm-hmm. Right? So you always wanted to say that. Mm-hmm. I'm on a chat with some dudes from Sharks and some dudes who are no longer Sharks, and somebody said, yo, you sniffing coke. And I hung up immediately. I was so mad, bro. Like, I was looking for the dude's number. I ain't gonna say his name. But that to me was like, in my lifetime, the only thing I've ever done is smoke weed. I ain't never did any other drug in my life. And I'm very lucky. That's probably why I look the way I look. Mm-hmm. And I made it, because I didn't.
Right.
I know my type of personality. But for him to say it and kind of...
if you felt disrespected.
I'm like, so that's a narrative now? Like, y'all think they're going to do that? Yeah. So... And then somebody else just said something about a family member of mine that they know, and that's when I drew the line. So I start restricting, then I just start unfollowing, and I start blocking. And again, I'm going to tell y'all this, because you know who y'all are, man. I don't got no hate for y'all. But when we get to be how I am, there's only one way I'm going to respond, man. And if I don't block you, I'm going to respond the other way. Because now that I did, I feel better. Because... not everything is meant to work. Some people can't get along. So I'm not going to try to referee people that I know ain't probably never going to speak again. Mm-hmm. But if you sweep me into that and say, well, if you down with them, then I got that too. I leave on my own time. If I'm going to quit something, it's because it's something that I need to do. I can't do it for somebody else's reasons because it's never going to work like that. And I think how you leave a relationship is how you're going to start the next one, right?
Oh, yeah, so that goes with anything.
You can't... Karma is real, bro. I tell niggas, karma know my address. That's why I'm humble. But I'm an animal because I've been through the worst and I'm still here. Some people that I thought loved me the most have done the worst things to me. I'm still here. So it's not a lot battle rappers could say to me. I'm just like, if y'all gonna be this unstructured and we have other examples of at least camaraderie and structure, then emulate that or go over there. Because don't just mess this up because you can. It's easy to say I could do better, but if you had your opportunity and nothing changed, then maybe it's time for somebody else. And I'm not going to beg Ralphie or Shark. They know my feelings about wanting to be a part of the business. I'm making it clear that that's the only thing we need is to kind of structure this around the future. I think we need some new talent.
I feel like Ralphie don't get enough respect. I had put a post up a couple of weeks back, giving Ralphie his flowers. I was like, y'all,
he doesn't.
Like Ralphie is a very intricate part of K-Shark TV because I was around before Ralphie was there, and I see how it's running now, and to me, it's running very better than it was back in the day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And let's be clear, like you said, Ralphie don't have to do this. And I think that's the part that artists that are over there have to understand. K-Shark has a wife and kids. He doesn't have to do this.
Right.
Ralphie has wife and kids. He doesn't have to do this. Tony Stanz has a business and things like that. These people don't have to do this. They're doing it because they love it. Like, even like with me, I'm actually spending money. This space right here, I don't need this.
Right.
And this is not bragging. This is not boasting. This is not doing none of that. We just trying to let the people that are in this culture understand that there are certain people put in place to help it grow where we can be on the same level of a URL or you know, these different entities that interview. I don't interview nobody from acapella. If you go down one-on-one with Bundles, everybody that we have interviewed has either been a league owner of an acapella or on-beat battle rap artist. We got enough people over there doing that for them. We don't got enough of that over here for us. So.
And you don't have to do this. So let me be honest. When you did the breakdown of me and Tef Kratom, bro, if there's any battle, it probably would have been that one. But I respected it because I didn't expect it. That's why I was kind of happy. I'm like, yo, somebody heard something, but you broke down his shit too. So it's not like anybody gets to feel better, right? You showing both sides. That to me was the first time outside of these other guys, YBS and them, who really covered that, right? So I'm thinking, I go back to the house, so to speak, to K-Shark. Like, you see what I mean? Like, I think we need more of an interactive blog. I want to interview battle rappers after they get off the damn stage in the battle. Same way you doing boxing, before, after, profiles. Tell me a little bit about where this dude come from. That's what I mean. Now, y'all hearing this live, so you can steal the idea. It don't matter. Everybody deserves that type of publicity. So now, you know, maybe I ain't get $200, but this what they just did for me.
Right.
It's like when a match come on and you get the tail of the tape and then you get a little bit, shoot a little video and you put that into it. But operationalize it also means finding an investor. So you don't got to come out your pocket. There's the difference between a funder and an investor. An investor don't cut and run unless they're just basically corporately raiding your shit. I'm just going to buy it and then sell it. None of us work here anymore. We don't need that type of investor. So Cricket or any type of league needs an investor. Stay with us, bro. Here's the 3 to 5, the 5 to 10 year strategic plan. And this is when I start talking to them, they looking at me like they
that goes back to what you said earlier. Guys don't want to work. What you're saying,
this is work.
That retains the work. You actually have to put work in, meaning not just
once you start getting marketing dollars on here, then you're going to see people come to you to look for a job, right? But you created a situation where you can employ people because the marketing dollars is what's going to push everything else. People just say the views, but how are you going to turn them views into dollars? So we talked about contracts, and those contracts basically determining how much a pay scale.
These R&B battle rappers is allergic to contracts.
Listen, but it has to. We got to develop a pay scale because
I feel you.
What URL is everybody going to suffer from now is that it's competition, bro. When you got a monopoly, you don't have no competition. So if I can go get more money in the other league, why would I not? And this is what I'm trying to tell them. There don't have to be no loyalty in the tank. Why? Because a lot of dudes ain't getting paid. We couldn't pay everybody. But how many dudes have spent money out their own pocket to get big battles so then they can leverage it into something that might help us get an investor? Because if an investor likes S-Drop, but he don't like me, what I'm going to say? Don't take the money?
Right.
That would be stupid. If he like Jet or he like me and he don't like S-Drop, you get the money. And you put that person, whatever that, 100,000, I want to see Tony's face in front of this. I want to sponsor this battle versus Murder Mook. I'm going to give Murder Mook 80. I'm just throwing something stupid out there. But somebody, not just investing in an event. And we talked about that, about longevity and sustenance. How do you sustain this shit? Because doing an event every month and having people say, well, I'm not sure if I want to pay. Now, if you have it in a spot, I seen y'all was charging $30, $40 for a battle. And I asked myself, I'm like, how many people would pay $40 for a battle? Because I'm going to be honest, man, I got dudes on my block that have not been to a battle. I grew up with them. Never have been to a battle.
For me,
they'll watch everyone on YouTube, but they not coming out.
For me, this is something for me. it ain't so much of them just paying $40 to come to the battle. You want to give them an experience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We do giveaways. We have artists perform. The venue plays a big role. You know what I'm saying? You want to make it someplace where people are comfortable, air conditioned, or
Right.
they're able to get their little drinks or whatever. You want to make it.
That's
it takes a lot, and I think artists and I think the patrons don't understand that it takes a lot to understand how to make your customer comfortable and make it so they want to keep coming back.
Right.
Like the last event we did, we did in Hartford, Connecticut. We did it in a big club. Now, granted, we didn't pack the place out, but it was comfortable enough where everybody was asking about the next
video.
one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's like Burner had in Atlanta. Burner had a really nice spot.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If it was 200, 300 people in there, that's the best battle card of all time, right? Because the crowd that was in there was crazy hype. And they wasn't on no Atlanta or New York. They was on whoever's the best person. We going to tell them that's the person that won. So it means a lot. We talked about that. When we go outside of our venue, Shark Tank, which is Ralphie's house, for those who don't know, his basement is the tank, right?
Again, Ralph, y'all heard what he said.
Yeah, he's giving up his house.
Ralphie's house, not his place where his family is at.
Right.
And this
you
and
can't
this is why
disrespect me and then come back in my house.
Right, and this is what kind of gets me upset when I was seeing all the lives, and I'm not taking sides for anybody, because if Goon and Pep and them want to come up here, I'm gonna give y'all a chance to say what y'all gonna say, but I'm gonna say this here so y'all can't say I was pillow talking. I did not respect the fact that they was going so hard on Ralphie, because I know what Ralphie brings to the table when it comes to K-Shark, because I've seen K-Shark, like I said, before Ralphie was around, and I see how it is now.
Right.
Ralphie has definitely sacrificed a lot. Y'all may not agree, and I've spoken to certain people, they say, and this is live, so I'm saying they may not agree with like how he says certain things, but then there's certain people that don't agree with how I say certain things. Not to say whether it's right or wrong, but you should have enough respect to understand that this man did not have to do the things that he's doing as far as on-beat battle rap.
Right.
And
I think
respected to bash the man.
I think that if Ralphie was a former MC or some shit, you know what I'm saying? If he was really in the hip hop culture like that, like Ralphie is more of a structure than he has to be in terms of. He said this before. He was like,
and he's from the true essence of hip hop.
Nah. Ralphie was like, you know what? In terms of battle rap, I don't really care about how intricate the bars are. And I was mad with him. I'm looked at him like, what are you talking about? But I understood it, right? He said the type of battle rapper he likes is the aggressive battle rapper that raps in your face.
Okay.
Right? So even as an owner, a partial owner, he has his own favorite type of style that he likes.
Mm-hmm.
But if that doesn't match up to somebody, and they like, well, he don't like me the way he likes, so forth and so on, it's nothing to be mad about. I mean, everybody has a right to their opinion. I think that if you feel you can do something better, you always have an opportunity to go show that you can.
Now let me ask you this. Seeing how you're on the Shark Tank, and I want to play both sides of the coin. Has his preference ever intervened with the business? What I mean by that is that you might have an artist that doesn't necessarily cater to what he likes as far as the aggression and things like that.
Right.
Has that ever been an issue where it's jeopardized the business, like somebody getting a certain play?
I think dudes have took it that way, because we talk, right? And dudes will talk. If somebody getting paid and somebody's not, you gotta look at the person who's not getting paid and ask, okay, can that person afford this on their own? Because some dudes will come in and automatically demand pay.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like what I get mad about is that, damn, I ain't getting paid. I spent my money to go to DC. I spent my money to go to Atlanta. I spent money to help events out. And I'm saying that that's what we should be doing, right? Because the ship sink, right? If one person don't want to, shit start taking on water and you don't want to get a cup, you're going to all drown.
And one person feel like,
that's my point. So if you think this is going to fail and you jumped off the boat, I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not letting this shit sink, because then it looks crazy. And again, we getting right back to where yesterday's conversation was. But like somebody like Pep came in with all the fire in the world, right? I didn't even really want to mention his name, but I'm going to let him know.
Man,
and I told him this on the phone, that I think that he has tremendous qualities to be a leader, but I think he used them negative, because that's what people respond to more. So if it sounded like I'm trying to be the OG, I don't have another role to play. What I'm supposed to go to Sharks and do? What other role I'm gonna play?
Right.
Besides the OG, I rap, and I don't care what they think. I told them, you know what I'm saying, like airing out the business. because somebody did say something. There's things that's been said to me. I ain't never say them, but I know that they true. So I let a lot of that play out. But then once threats start coming into play, I felt like it was my role to jump in. Like, whatever we doing, let's not take it there. Because I done heard people be threatened. I ain't never really been threatened. I felt like I had to make a threat last week to, like, listen, man, I don't know who y'all think I am, but I don't want to be drug into it. I just don't want to see people like Ralphie. You know what I mean? Ralphie put up, that wasn't taken the right way, right? But Ralphie felt like he was defending himself after everything. So I'm not telling people's business. All I'm saying is that this back and forth, it stopped last week. And it's not going to pick up because I took myself out this picture by saying if I get up every morning to look what somebody's saying about me, I'm going to have a badass day because I don't know how not to respond. And I found myself on live for 6 hours between them days.
Yo, bro.
I missed
like
my whole day at work. I was at work. I was like, pardon me, partner left. I said, nah, bro, I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? My job is meaningful.
I think I said it in the live. I was on the live with everybody. I said, yo, man, I got off work at 9 o'clock this morning. It's like 12, and I ain't been to sleep yet. I gotta go to sleep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, and we're gonna say this here, that was the most people I ever had on my live based on negativity.
Wow. Now, see, that's crazy because we were talking about this in K-Shark. Some of our last battles, I feel like, should have way more views. So I feel like we all the leagues, with maybe the exception of Verbal Warzone, but we all at a point now where we got to start figuring out how to operationalize this together because people picking and choosing. It's 40,000 battles coming out every day. Literally, bro. You could literally watch battles from 20 leagues all day long. People could sit in the house and do this. Where are we in this? Because if you putting out major names and you're getting 400-500 views, that's a problem because it means that we're not moving forward. So is the alternative to buy the views or to organically try to build your brand with better rappers who might be willing to do something that they're not getting paid for in order to sacrifice for the embedment of the league? I don't know no other way to do it. But people want bigger battles. Everybody's talking about getting better names. I tried to get Reaperell over here. He was already set, backed out. That's a name. We got K Profit over here. It's her second time over here.
Shout out K Profit.
We paying for that. Shout out to K Profit. You know, I told myself, I can let them argue, but at the end of the day, I got to do something for myself. And then I felt that was selfish. So, I feel like Goon and Pep and them, they made their decision. And I gotta stand by it. Like I didn't want this to happen. I really wanted the Sharks to really be the strongest unit. I want that so crooked smoke, and I mean that because it's good competition, right? Some A&R watching some of this shit. You hear me? When you put all them spitters in the room over a beat and you put this on, somebody's watching.
Collaborations always work.
Don't even really mean an A&R, but somebody with the power to put 1, 2, maybe more of these people in a better position. Maury is in front of Homeboy a lot.
Mo Murder is the best example that I like to use because Mo Murder's first introduction was with TMI.
Yep.
And in the midst of him being on TMI, that's led to him being on K-Shark TV. That's led to him being on my platform because I wouldn't know who he was.
Right. I said that, and somehow I feel like I got left out, and a part of me was a little mad about that, but then I thought about it and I said, one thing I realized about the young dudes, because they're all young, right? Because I'm old, they say, when I come play, I don't play with Tony, right? Burner got me that battle because your man stood me up, Hondo Luck. Hondo Luck has now stood me up twice.
Yo, Hondo, man,
he leads
you becoming a stand-up king, bro.
Yeah, he leads the league. You lead the league. You Scottie Pippen of stand-ups, bro.
Yeah, you got to stop that, man.
But that's how that happened. So Burner gets me. I said, yo, I called John. He didn't pick up. I left him messages. I was anybody in Atlanta connect because I was gonna wind up battling Burner, but we couldn't agree on the beat. So it would have been me and Burner, not Burner and Fatal.
Okay.
And see how that turned out. But in any event,
yo, man.
that to me, that event changed the whole landscape of K-Shark because when we came back, we had a whole plan, and somehow that shit went off the tracks. And
I think y'all was
no murder just because we got off that point. But murder, to me was super prepared. He picked the beat. He was like, "Yo, bro, I only rock off East Coast beats." Boom, bap. I said, "What?" I was like, "This can't be happening," because I only had. We both had 15 days. Like
Right.
I found out this dude is not coming to Atlanta 15 days before. I already got a plane ticket. So it's like, come on, bro, you can't do this to me. I have to write too. So this dude walks in there and he gets his round off. I'm like, yo, these Atlanta niggas is rocking with him. He's like, yo, homeboy from Ohio. I said, what? We chopped it up, and I told him, I said, yo, this is gonna be battle of the night, and it was. Now, people, a battle of the night to me is the best battle.
Mm-hmm.
People are gonna say he won. People say I won. That's one battle that I'm always gonna say changed the tide in this whole K Shark shit. And because people told me in Atlanta, they was like, nah, bro, you and him. They was like, no battle was better than that.
Now, I'm gonna give you this, and you can take this home to K Shark. K Shark TV is the first. No, let me not say because Cypher did it too. Cypher did it upstate, but I want to say the most consistent with collaboration battles.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I went out to DC. I went out to Atlanta. You know, we had the So Crooked versus K Shark. So K Shark TV understands that there is other players involved as far as the market is concerned,
Right.
and they're trying to build bridges and build connections, and I salute them for that because look what there's people that was on these cars that have never left the city.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So y'all, if y'all don't take your hat off to nothing else, y'all gotta take your hat off to that. Like K Shark is doing things with it. He's taking you out of your element. He's helping you out with certain, even like with me. Like, I'm not gonna throw nobody's name out, but a couple of my artists said the first time they was ever in a Sprinter was with me.
There you go.
The first time they ever left,
There you go.
the first time they ever been in upstate New York was with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not to say that anybody owes me anything, because at the end of the day, we was working together. Y'all had a job to do. I had a job to do. Because guess what? Yeah, y'all coming to rap, but I still got to make sure y'all get there. I still got to make sure that this venue was set up right.
But see, that's a part of the business, right? And we had, shout out to Clara. Clara's definitely, on board with the business. But when you're building a brand like this, 2 employees ain't going to cut it, man.
Yeah,
because that means that somebody is working out their element. And I believe I manage people, right? So let people work toward their strengths. If I know you can't do something, I'm going to sit you down there and force you to do something you're going to fail at. Because then the bottom line is affected. Mm-hmm. And this is my point. Ralphie is good at certain things. I'm good at certain things. Shark is good at certain things. Fleet is good at certain things. It's figuring that out and being comfortable in what your role is. I don't even have a role. Look, I'm talking shit. I haven't even been given a role. I'm taking it. Because otherwise I'm wasting my time. There has to be some type of give and take, even between like the people who run it and figuring out which battle rappers want to do more than just show up to a battle. Because that's what I'm saying.
The trust.
I know I can't keep doing this forever, right? Because after a while, you done heard everybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's certain dudes I don't want to hear them every month, and you might not want to hear me every month, but I know fresh faces have to emerge. You got to start moving around because, bro, when we went to DC, that shit was crazy. I wish certain people didn't back out of their battle. But what I said, at the end of 22, I was like, yo, no shows in 2023. Because if you don't have rules like that, people going to do it to you every time.
Absolutely.
So I can't do that with So Crooked, but I'm going to come over here and do it. Nah, bro. I don't care how much time, because you could be replaced, because I should be replaced. How many times do you get to shit on the league before you just say, you know what?
I think
I'm not battling over here no more.
And this is just for me, and I can only use my crew as an example. When it come down to So Crooked, I'm not going to sit here and say that, everybody is just a super elite battle, but we do acts of a certain level of greatness from it, because we think everybody got greatness in them.
Right.
So everybody knows, and I don't know if my man Extraordinaire is still on here or not. So shout out to my man Extraordinaire. Finale had a battle, his first battle back with So Crooked, and his first round was amazing. Mm-hmm. Again, me talking shit. Yo, that SC hit different. We out here, and he pulled me to the side like, yo, Bundles, I don't know what it is, but like anybody that go to So Crooked, like they pen get more. Like, yo, bro, that's what our culture is based around.
Right.
We're not asking you to be the greatest.
We're talking about the pen.
Talking about the pen.
So
not asking you to be the greatest, but we do ask that you maintain a certain level of dominance in your profession.
Right.
That's what our signature is. Like
Right.
when we go to these events and you talking about So Crooked, yes, I'm good. I can't rap a lick. I can't rap a GIF.
At least you admit it.
You know what I'm saying?
At least you admit it.
People tell me all the time, "Oh, Bundles, you just talking, you just..." Yeah, that's cool. Because guess what? That's what I am to my team.
Bro, I watched King Sprite battle. I watched Chosen battle. And, like, I'm battling in Verbal Warzone on the 29th. I decided to go back.
Oh, salute.
Yeah, so people don't know. I was at Verbal Warzone twice. And the first time...
this month?
Nah, this was like the 3 years. This was like pandemic time.
No, I'm saying, when's your next battle?
August 29th.
August 29th. I'm going to make sure I'm in the building.
Right. Because I can't be at the pool party. I'm going to be in Dallas. But I wanted to sign back up because I didn't get 2 battles off against the same op. One time they sent us 2 different beats, and the other time it was like 3:30 in the morning. And to me, I can't rap to the janitor no more. I grew up doing some of that. Like, I came up when you had to rap to the janitor. You sign up some of these open mics and you go 50th. But, you know, what I'm saying is that going back there just says that I'm going back there as a shark fully this time, right? And before I wouldn't have been a shark. I would have been just a free agent. And I think that's something that I'm starting to understand. Some dudes is just going to be free agents. What I be asking them to say is, like, if you shark, say it. If not, cool. Because when you see people wearing your merch, that has to make you feel good, because imagine you went and spent all your money, get the shit designed, and nobody wants to wear it because it doesn't identify to anything that's proud, right? You want to be proud of something. I'm proud of some Nike shit. That's my point. This shark shit, if you riding with it,
Now, here's the thing.
you would never want to do it dirty.
Now, here's a funny thing when it comes to the brand, right? I had a conversation with my wife one day. You know who wears So Crooked?
Nah, tell me.
Just by the name, who do you think wears So Crooked?
Maury?
No, just somebody. What type of demographic of people do you think wear So Crooked?
I would think 25 to 35.
Let me break
Black
this down.
males or females?
Check this out. The people that buy So Crooked: school teachers, police officers. I even had a librarian buy a hoodie off me.
That's crazy. I would love to see her rocking that behind the desk.
My little cousin, so salute to my little cousin, my cousin Riz's son.
Right.
He called me. He's young. Me and his dad are real close. He called me and was like, "Yo, my teacher came in with a So Crooked hat on." I said, "Well, what's his name?" He told me his name, but I couldn't really catch the government name or whatever. I was like, "Yeah, you know." He's like, "Yo, that's crazy. Like, he just came to class wearing a So Crooked hat." Or my other man that called me and said he was someplace and he saw somebody wearing a So Crooked hat. So it's like, I say that to say this. Unfortunately, most of the time, it's never your people that support you.
Right. Yeah.
But we can't fault them and get mad and say, because let's be clear, this is something else that people got to understand too. It's not really their fault, because it's a systematic system that's been planted in your head.
Yeah.
If you start to blow up and that person feel like they put even a penny in your pocket to help you blow up and they're still in their struggle,
Yeah.
they find it really hard to really tap into what you're doing, because they're in a space that they're in.
Listen.
Now that goes back to what you said about as far as like working together.
Yeah.
And this is things that I try to do. Like if I'm doing an event, I hire my people.
Yeah, you said that. You said that on that live. And that meant a lot. And we
You know
talked
what I'm saying?
about that. We talked about creating stipends, and investors willing to do that. The bigger the event, the more money you're going to make. You know, don't just look at it as an opportunity to have a battle every month, because it's got to be bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had an event at a boxing gym. I don't know if he was at.
I was there. I was there.
Yo, bro.
Great event.
We had 2
Great
events
event.
at boxing
Great
gyms.
event.
We had 2. But this one particular is when Moody knocked money out. But I swear on everything, that was a great idea. And I saw those 2 things being able to have a synergy that could last. Because when you're in the ring battling, it's the same thing as almost boxing. I say that. Pound for pound, some dudes should never be in the ring with each other. But that night, it was the energy in that building. And I told him, I said, yo, people would pay $30 for this. Easy. Right? Because they get to see a knockout. And Moody is a battle rapper, right? But he in there throwing punches. Like,
And again, innovative. I've never heard of an event where you have boxing and battle rap together.
Bro, couldn't beat that. I thought that was one of the best events. So that's what I'm going to continue to work with them on it, because nobody want to give up or concede power. But really, this ain't about power. This is about a shared responsibility.
Yo, salute to everybody on the check-in. If you want to call in, the number is 646-702-3443.
Yo, Mo Murder said,
Yes,
I
sir.
said this is boxing weight classes. He said Gambit is a strawweight.
Again, the number is
Still going at
646
each other.
702-3443, man. Call in. Or you could go to YouTube. The number's at the top of the screen on YouTube. And you could call in and leave your comments.
Yo, good. Listen, shout out to all my Sharks. Shout out to all the former Sharks. I'm staying on board because it's the right thing to do. It's not
Absolutely.
personal against
Absolutely.
nobody else. I just don't. I'm gonna finish my breakfast, right? When I'm ready, I'm ready. But the divisiveness, I don't want to be a part of it. And if I came out too strong yesterday because this tournament meant a lot. Not just because I was a part of it, but I just felt that was another step.
I think it's more so just being passionate.
Yeah.
I don't want you to degrade your passion. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I was in a mall buying a fit. And I was on the line. I just paid for it when Ralphie called me. I had already spoke to Shark. So for y'all who didn't know in the chat, I didn't find out until Ralphie called me. And again, I said some shit, even, mad at Shark. Shark texted me while I was here. I haven't spoken to Shark. But I know I'll talk to him tonight. And the one thing I want to be able to say is that from here on in, I just want everybody to know we not beefing. We not beefing. It's just that if people felt like the best decision was to split from it, I get it. Because it comes a time when it don't work. And if it's not working for you, it could easily be me. If it's not working for me, I'm going to do the same thing. But I just think going quietly is better than making a bunch of noise on the way out to say, hey, guys, I'm leaving. I don't really know how that benefits you or us if it don't turn out better on the other side. I don't even want to try to figure it out. It's like starting a new relationship. I don't want to take them bumps again, right? If I come into a new league, I go to the bottom, right? Because you don't go to the top. You might, there might be somebody who could say, I can make you the headliner in Texas tomorrow. Like, I ain't never rapped in Texas on no battle rap, so why am I the headliner? Does that automatically mean I'm better than everybody else you're going to have on that card?
Not at all.
That's the point. I feel
Not
like
at all.
working your way up is always something that's valuable, bro. And I got to go to the bathroom.
Yo, man, salute, man. I think we got everything we needed to
got
talk
it all
about
in?
already, man.
It's
You know
actually,
what I'm saying?
yeah, it's 5
Salute, Tony Stanz. I
Yo.
appreciate you for stopping by, brother. This was a great conversation, man. You know what I'm
felt
saying?
like a real talk, man.
I felt like this is something that needed to be said, not only, you know what I'm saying, to clear the air, but also the youth that probably going to play this back and watch it and everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They should be able to do their thing.
Listen, I just want to say that I'm going to do a better job at trying to stay positive about the unity that we need, only because I had my own feelings about bundles before we got to talking on that live. That's when I really saw that it wasn't no animosity. Mass always called me out for events. I'd be like, nah, I can't do this one. But at the end of the day, I'm going to spread this around because you sitting on all this knowledge the older you get and you're not trying to impart it on people you doing bad.
Yo, try to call back, man. Let's see if these lines is open. Call back if you got a question. We're going to get Tony Stanz to the bathroom. Matter of fact, Tony, if you want to take a break, man, hit that bathroom up. Come on.
Where's that?
Matter of fact, yo, listen, man. Y'all had all show to ask the questions, man. 1-on-1 with bundles, man. This is the next one, man. Salute to everybody on the check-in, man. Appreciate